What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show. I am Zay Collier, joined by the great Adam Wagner, and the Horns are 5-0, get their first SEC dub ever against the Mississippi State Bulldogs, 35-13 in a very sloppy game. Wags, there's so many different things to break this down, but appreciate y'all for rocking with us tonight. Appreciate all our sponsors, Verde's Mexican, Parrilla, Top Gun Lawn Equipment, Moonshine, Patio Grill, Paul's Motor Works, Kenfield Golf Carts, Hat Creek Burger Company, Allstat Brewery, 34 Wine and Spirits, Covert Bee Cave, Clean Calls, and audio visual consultations. Yeah, Wags, very sloppy game from the jump. Shout out to Jeff Lebby. I think he had a hell of a game plan for the lack of personnel that he had against Texas. He just didn't have enough Jimmies and Joes to go up against, all these 5 stars and big-time players, and that's how it should be. But the bye week couldn't come soon enough.
Right.
From an injury standpoint to just cleaning stuff up, and maybe Texas fans might disagree with me here, but I thought at the end of the day, I like that type of game going into the next team you're going to play. And the next 2 teams you're going to play, because you need to realize that anybody could come in and try to wax you. You got to be humbled. I think this Texas team was humbled today. And again, with all of these mishaps and penalties and errors, you still get a 22-point victory. So I know Mississippi State's trash. I know Toledo got in their ass. I know Florida whooped their ass, and Texas handled their business today, didn't cover, but overall a sloppy game. And yeah, the bye week couldn't come soon enough.
Yeah, and it just what you said, just kind of to piggyback off of that too, right? Like, it was kind of a very uncharacteristic game for the Longhorns, and not just for the players that are on the gridiron, for Sarkisian too, right? Usually he's had a sound mind to take points off the board, to elect to take points off the board, and then go with the 4th down attempt with when you're 3 yards shy of the yard to gain 2, and right now you've been struggling it hadn't that you've necessarily been struggling on offense rushing the ball. It's just that every time you've converted the 1st down to move the sticks for a fresh set of downs, you've had either a holding call or something's gone wrong to where you've negated the play, right? It happened with 3 first downs, and it also happened with a touchdown there. It was just sloppy play, like Dan says, all throughout the game for the Longhorns there. But look, I mean, when that's going on, you have to have the right mindset too. Like, you can't allow yourself to go on tilt. Now, I'm not saying that Sarkisian went on tilt there, but it seemed like to take a 3-point game, to go back and make it a 1-point score when you've kind of been struggling a little bit. I would have elected to take the points and have an 11-point game instead of an 8-point game. But again, that's just me, erring on the side of caution a little bit more. Ultimately, there's a counterpoint to that too, right? There's the fact that Sarkisian doing that solidifies a lot of faith and confidence in his boys. And it's like, what? I don't care. I'll give Mississippi State 3 points. I'll give you guys that. All right. Yeah. Hell, the ref's been giving you the damn game most of the time anyways. Go ahead and take 3 more points. Here's a charity basket. Okay. I understand that kind of would galvanize and motivate a little bit of the offense and the team too. So there's a good counterpoint to that. I just don't elect in this position, I don't elect to take points off the game to make it a 1-possession ball game.
Yeah, that was definitely one of those I believe in my guys moments instead of the, in my opinion, logical move, because I'm with you. I take the points there. You got to feel the game. That's a feel in the game situation. That's the second drive of the second half. It's 14-6. You're getting called with all of these penalties. And
right, the game has not been going your way.
Yeah, and the way that Bert Auburn made that thing dinged off the right side of the goalpost, that should have been a sign like, yo, man.
Iron God's telling you, take the damn points.
Take the damn points. This is not our day. Like, I get it. Analytics tell you to go for it at that time. When Mississippi State mucked up on the false start or offsides, it tells you to go for it. And Lane Kiffin and them boys, they kind of got screwed doing that today. Ole Miss goes down from Kentucky, one of those teams.
Kentucky might be real.
They're tough.
I mean, Kentucky gave Georgia a good fight too, bro.
They did.
Might be real.
They did. So that's going to be a big-time game down the line. But, yeah, I take the points there, too, to go up 17-6. You know, your defense. Again, Jeff Lebby, you've got to give him credit like he did last year in Oklahoma when he was the offensive coordinator in Red River and Dylan Gabriel had the game of his life. He's got Pete Kwiatkowski's number, and he just doesn't have the dudes to do what that Oklahoma team did, but the rushing yards that Mississippi State put up, especially in the first half, he put up 115 in the first half. They did a really good job in the second half, this Texas team, of closing that off, just allowing 150 total for the game, but they were moving the ball. They controlled that clock like a mug in that first half. It was absolutely ridiculous. I want to say the differential was 21 minutes to Texas's 8.857. So 21.3 minutes, they controlled the clock for the Bulldogs while Texas only had the ball for 8 minutes, and you were still up 14-6. So, yeah, there are just a lot of dumb, self-inflicted wounds in this game that, again, with this bye coming up, you got to clean up before it gets to the gauntlet of the season. But all in all, the bright spot of the game, Arch Manning. Manning, man. I
can't agree with you there.
I mean, come on. 26 for 31, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 rushing touchdown, and that 27-yarder, which I thought that was a touchdown, man. If the refs would have called it at first,
that was a touchdown.
That was it, right? Give it to him. Give it to him, man. Yo, Quad, man. Quad's always coming with the scary stuff. Like, I don't know what's going on with Arch Manning at the end. He was a little hobbled. He was pointing to that groin area, the hip area. He needs to chill out with these hits. Before that 27-yard run and before they, got him in there,
like a pretzel, like a soda straw.
He got sandwiched something nasty. And he popped back up. But I'm like, dude, that shit adds up. You gotta
and
chill.
That's adrenaline that's helping him pop.
Yeah, you gotta chill. Like I feel I've been quoted on there saying this. I feel a lot better with Arch Manning taking hits than I do Quinn Ewers, just because Arch Manning has a little more meat to his bones. And
me, I don't like him.
If he's gonna do that stupid shit, I don't like it. Can you listen to your grandpa, son? They were talking about it on air in the booth. They were saying grandpa calling in and your grandma, fam. Slide. I said that all last week with the great Chip Brown. I was like, yo, Eli, Peyton, Cooper, hit the boy up and tell him to slide, because he's not invincible out here. I get it. You want to get those extra yardage, and to your teammates, that's huge. That's big-time leadership moments. That's how you get your team on your side, because we all know quarterbacks, they can be a little dainty. We can't hit them in practice. So you got to earn everyone's trust in that locker room. And when Arch lowers his head instead of sliding, he's doing that. But with the situation you're in, we ain't trying to see Trey Owens come out here. Right. Quinn Ewers, I thought it was smart to keep him out of this game. I thought that was a good move. I think if it was OU, A&M, or Georgia, Quinn would have played. But the fact that it was Mississippi State, one of the worst defensive teams coming in, Arch was good, and it showed. Again, 26 for 31. I mean, the percentage is crazy. 2 touchdowns, 324 yards. That was the right move. It's just all the self-inflicted woes, the defense kind of getting gutted up a little bit more than what we've seen thus far. That could be a little worrisome, but you got 2 weeks to take care of those problems. You got 2 weeks to get healthy. And, yeah, the running back room, Wags, is a concern. Jaden Blue, he might have lost his spot tonight. He might have lost his spot tonight.
We talked about having the rich and plentiful in almost every damn room, right? And we weren't bullshitting, man. They look good. I mean, Wagner and Gibson. This is a 1-2 combination, right? And then you want to make it Earth, Wind, and Fire. You want to bring in Jaden Blue too? Jeez. Well, we ain't got nothing to do but cook. All right, it's gonna be one hell of a September. That's the thing. I think that's what they saying, right? Earth, Wind, and Fire. They said this.
Yeah, we remember
the 21st of September. Yeah.
What you know about that, Wags? Come on, baby.
I was raised right. Come on.
You were, man. I know you got that black soul. You got that black soul.
So here's the thing. Coming into this game, I had a few points, right? There was two battles that you were going to fight. You were going to fight the battle against Mississippi State and the battle against attrition. And you, for the most part, you won the battle against attrition. You beat Mississippi State, but you also didn't prepare for a battle going into Mississippi State that arose, and that was the battle against the officials, right? There were 3 times where the Longhorns had drives fail because they had holding calls on that could have moved the sticks for 3 first downs. They also had a holding call on a touchdown, which it didn't really matter. They ended up scoring in the first place, but still wasted time. Inefficient football. That's kind of what we were harping on the entire past 4 weeks, is that they've been playing efficient football, but we haven't seen their best football. This was clearly their worst game, in my opinion, that they played all season long, and it showed. And I mean, still, like, I don't want to quote Saban here, and it is a fool's glory to sit here and say that to lose or to win while playing very poorly is kind of a benefit. That kind of is like fool's gold, if you're to quote Saban there, that you don't want to play poorly at all anytime throughout the week. It's like you said, you got a lot to clean up here, and it couldn't have came at a better time to go into this bye week and kind of shore things up going into Texas OU.
Yeah, and talk about just being durable. Derek Williams missed his 2nd straight game when it comes to stopping the run. He's one of those safeties you want to have out there. I'm glad Mookie Taft came back in the game. But going back to Jaden Blue, like, no, he didn't come back in after the fumble. Like, that was it. One time, all right, we give you a second chance, but the first drive, first play of the second half, and you cough that thing up, like, that's – now we're getting into yips territory. And Jaden Blue, when it comes to his carries at Texas, the ratio's not good. It's not good one bit, from the carries that he has to him putting the ball on the deck. Going back to last year, he fumbled in the Sugar Bowl against Washington, him and CJ Baxter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's scary.
And that's kind of a trend, too, for the running back. So, and you think that Choice will be able to clean this up, right? Like, carry the ball high. Just secure the ball and carry the ball high. It looks like Gibson, too, carries the ball a little bit low for my taste as well. Weiser looks like he's a really sound back. Like, I enjoy watching his, especially his ability to get yards after the first hit. He is fantastic, man. He keeps those pistons pounding, and he's able to hit through the would-be tackler and continue to move the damn rock, man. Now, look, it's a great compliment to have all 3 of these backs, but you speak to a point here, man. You have to have ball security. And if you're Jaden Blue, man, the ratio isn't good, but maybe Choice cleans this up a little bit, tuck the ball up a little bit higher. You saw Tiki Barber had a lot of problems with fumbling the rock in his career, right?
But he was able right.
Hey, by the way, that is a fire shirt. That is an absolute fire shirt, by the way. I'm just now.
Yo, man, I had to represent. I was going through the drawer, and I was like, you know what? Let me represent for my boy, man. My dog, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
my God. Just showing you a little bit of love. But, yeah, something's not right. I mean, shout out to our guy, E. Henry. Him and Keenan Womack do a hell of a job on False Start 12-1 every day here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. But he put out Jaden Blue, 155 carries, and the dude has 4 fumbles with that. You go and divide that up. It ain't good.
Yeah,
that ain't good.
Secure it, man.
That's not good at all. You know what I'm saying? I always joke, my movie, that my shit's the program. We got to go Omar Epps with it. You got to carry it around campus. Huh? You rolling around Dean Keaton with the ball in your hands and stuff. You see Jaden Blue knock that out for the next 2 weeks because we still need him.
Anybody else brings in this football, you're going to wish they hadn't.
Yo, man, you still need that dude. For real. Like, you don't need to not trust anyone. This running back room's too thin. With CJ Baxter and Christian Clark not being available, Chip's boy, Colin Page, white boy, he was out with a concussion. Quintravion Wisner, even though he had a really good game today, 13 carries, 88 yards, he was solid, longest game.
And look, that PD got called back too. That was one hell of a touchdown, man.
Yeah, gosh, jeez, man, so many weak penalties. But yeah, he was good. It's just he was dealing with a hamstring injury. That's something that can linger, especially with this grueling longest season in college football history. If you make it to your destination in the CFP, like that, just a depth in the running back room, that is going to be a problem that we're going to be discussing for the next 2 weeks. And again, what I'd be doing, I'd be pumping Jaden Blue up. You got to keep them locked in. This can't be a yips moment. You gotta like, it's gonna be up to Sark, the Shard Choice, and all those guys, Quinn, the leaders in the locker room, the O-line. Like, hey, yo, Jaden, we need you, bro. We're gonna need you. We gotta need you. If we want to win a championship, you're gonna have to be locked in. He looked so deflated after that second one because he knew his day was over.
Right.
After that second fumble, he knew his day was over. Because the way Tashard Joyce and Sark are, they're not going to give you too many chances. You mucking up the rhythm.
Maybe they dressed it and packaged it up a different way instead of making it like a failure thing. Maybe they said, "Hey, man, this is a ball game where we don't need you to be pressing like this. Maybe we just kind of rest you and get right and get healthy and let the youngsters kind of take this thing into the thing." Now, look, I'm giving you the most optimal situation of what could happen. Is that realistic? Probably not. They were probably, they hold a. That's why you're playing championship football right now, is because you hold everybody accountable, right? I'm not saying that they gave him a nice little cupcake cushion, but that could be a nice little spin to approach Jaden Blue if you're trying to get the mentality right. Is, hey, man, maybe we sit you out just a little bit so you can rest up and relax just a little bit, get that R&R right going into a Red River shootout.
Yeah, exactly. Those are good points, man. But the defense, besides a couple of missteps being in the
I didn't hear this, Zay. I did not hear this at all.
I'm looking on Twitter. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing. It might be later on, but I don't think that's a thing. I think he just had a horrible game today. And again, getting Quatravion Wagner right and being confident in him and his hamstring being right, like he was the bell cow in the fourth quarter. When it was 28-13 after Van Buren had that touchdown run, he basically iced the game, and then they gave that reverse to Isaiah Bond, and that was it. But yeah, just the running back room. Again, the bye couldn't come soon enough. Get that room healthy. And Jared Gibson, his pass protection stats are atrocious, are horrific, to where we can't risk having him out there because you're throwing the ball so much. Like, they threw a lot in that first quarter, which in the first half, which had a lot to do with time of possession. Again, 21 minutes for Mississippi State, almost 9 for Texas. And I think that was also a point of emphasis because they know how limited that running back room is, Wags. So they know that, okay, we're going to have to open up the run game with the passing game. And again, Arch couldn't have been better. Arch couldn't have been better. Like, he's so tough in the pocket. He's not afraid to get hit. Sometimes he might hold the ball too long, but in a way, I'd rather have that. Yeah, I'd rather have him hold the ball in the pocket to see something develop because he's so big. He can see over people, and he's not afraid to take the hit. You got to be able to take some hits in the pocket. You got to be able to risk your body a little bit for the greater good to make some of those downfield throws. And his deep ball is money. It is money.
It's there,
yeah. It's hard for me to say it's better than Quinn Ewers, but it's right there, boy.
I don't have a problem saying it. Like, so here's the thing. I feel like Arch has more of a touch on it too, or more accuracy. He can put it on a platter a little bit better. When I see Quinn Ewers throw the deep ball, he throws everything he has, and he honestly, he got spoiled by Worthy. He just threw it up, and Worthy could just run up underneath of it anywhere it was on the field, and he would come down with it. It was just on I always say James Worthy. It was just on Xavier Worthy to be able to catch it and put it in the breadbasket, right? That's the only thing that was, Ewers never had a problem with the strength. No one's ever considered his arm strength as a problem. We just knew it was the accuracy throwing downfield and kind of stretching it and get it vertical. It looks like Arch Manning does have him beat in that aspect.
Yeah, he had a easy, wide open bomb to Jonte Cook, and he completely smoked it. And he was wearing that number 1 too. You talk about Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy had some moments, especially going back to that Alamo Bowl game in the 2022 season when he first changed number 1. He was dropping everything. I was like, who is that? And I was like, oh, come on, Jonte. And kind of the same thing with the running backs and the fumbling issues with Jaden Blue. If you have drops on this wide receiver core with how deep they are, yeah, just be careful. And Jonte Cook on a deep crosser, he, redeemed himself a little bit in that second half. But with all the other guys, you can't afford to drop the ball because you could easily get replaced and lose your reps to somebody else. DeAndre Moore, 2 touchdowns today. Now he's coming along. Like, just this wide receiver group. We haven't seen Gunnar Helm have a good wide receiver receiving game since the Michigan game. Like, there's just so many different guys each week that are capable, and that's the beauty of it. But, yeah, the bye couldn't come. I sound like a broken record here. The bye couldn't come at a better time. I am very appreciative of this team, I think, waking up a little bit. Because you're number one, everybody's patting you on the back, you're getting all this love, the honeys, looking at you different. Like, you got to handle it a certain way. And sometimes you got to get humble. Mississippi State, they're trash. They're Oscar the Grouch garbage, trash. Struggling with Toledo, struggling with Florida. Came in here and gave you a fight. That was
with a freshman quarterback. With a freshman quarterback,
which, again, that's tough to prepare for. There's no film on Michael Van Buren. There's a couple of drives that you saw at the end of the Florida game due to Blake Shapen being injured. So you're kind of just coming in guessing what Jeff Lebby's going to do. And Jeff Lebby has had Pete Kwiatkowski's number a little bit, So
yeah, let's consider ourselves fortunate that there's only 13 points on the board by Mississippi State, because there were a few passes that, you want to talk about Jonte Cook dropping, having a critical drop, a key drop. There were a few critical moments to where Mississippi State could have had us even more on the ropes and kind of made the game even closer, but they had some drops too. So, just poor play on both sides, but unexpected for the Longhorns, whereas it should be a little bit more expected to keep these guys just a little bit of range. I was to keep you guys a little bit more in range. I was kind of surprised with the Bulldogs' ability to run the damn ball on us. There was, again, you want to talk about a little bit of mishaps too, right? There were some drops that Mississippi State had, and then on the other side, to add insult to injury here, we also, weren't as efficient as we have been, or as lethal as we have been as a unit on defense this past 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 weeks rather, with being able to get hats to the ball. We've had missed tackles this game too, where that wasn't a problem the past 4 weeks, and shit came back to bite, or almost came back to bite us here. There were extended drives for the Bulldogs where they should have been able to get off the Longhorns defense should have been able to get off the field, but a missed tackle allowed them to move the sticks and extend the damn drive. So there were some concerning moments, but again, like you said, not to be your broken record, amigo, but yeah, it's a good time to get right.
Yeah, you get 6 sacks. Like, that's good shit right there. 6 sacks. My man Colin Simmons, I'm telling you.
He's lethal, man.
That's a number 1 pick written all over it. He
knows it too. Everybody in the everybody knows it.
That get off is stupid. That 3rd and 18 in the second half.
I thought that one was a little bit lucky. I thought he timed that one to perfection, bro.
Yo, man. That's elite. As a freshman, that's elite. And I've been trying to stay positive about Trey Moore. I really have, because all the hype he came in with, he was the defensive player of the year in the UTSA's conference last season. We know he got broken off. That brink truck came to the crib. And Colton Vosic's out here getting sacks before him with way less reps. Barrett Sorrell was really good today. Ethan Burke was really good today. We just mentioned Colin Simmons. Those 4 guys might be your rotation at edge. Again, Trey Moore's there, but now you're about to get
a really good rotation, man.
This rotation's really good. This rotation's really good. And again, I do think they got caught off guard a little bit. I thought Jeff Lebby, he had a terrific game plan on keeping the Horns off the field. And, father-in-law's Art Browse. He runs a type of, what the hell?
Yeah, it got a little dark on me there.
Okay,
My bad.
I thought something happened, but yeah, he runs a very similar offense to what Art Browse did, and that offense is really tough to stop, especially on the ground. And you saw that today. It's just we've been so used these first 4 games seeing this Texas defense not really give up anything, especially in Ann Arbor against the team that really wants to run the football. They snuffed them. So to see them give up those yards today, it was a little interesting, but they got 2 weeks to clean it up before they got to face Michael Hawkins, which Michael Hawkins won the job today in that comeback win against Auburn. They were chanting Michael Hawkins' name, the Oklahoma fans on his way out of Auburn Stadium. So it's his job. I don't think, unless if he plays so bad at Red River, you've got to make a change. Brent Venables for a Jackson Arnold. But I think it's Michael Hawkins' team at this point. And the next 2 weeks from today, you're going to see him at the Cotton Bowl. Hit us up on the Clean Cause hotline here. Clean Cause is a better for you beverage on a mission to support addiction recovery. Enjoy a healthier energy boost, 160 mg of Organina Yerba Mate tea that won't cause crash jitters or just everything that coffee gives you, or the traditional energy drinks. You don't want that crazy sugar rush to go off where you feel blah all day. Clean Cause, they give you none of that. There's flavor and product line for everyone to choose from. Sparkling 0 calories, low calorie, non-carbonated yerba mate that's sweetened and organic cane sugar. Best of all, it lends a hand to about 50% of the net profit support for addiction recovery. So it's a great cause there. Clean Cause. Get the name. That's right. It's donated over $3,364,300, and they're just getting started. Great energy drink. Check it out now. Shout out to Clean Cause. All right, Wags, is there anything, before we get to all of the post game, player of the game, opposing player of the game, defense, offense, before we get to all that, is there anything that you saw in this game that we haven't talked about or missed?
No, I mean the thing is, just to kind of sum it up, like it's still a good thing to be able to come out with a victory like this. Again, a 22-point margin of victory here when you played absolutely horrendous. Just got to clean things up, and again, that you're the reason why you played so poorly. It wasn't that the other team was able to go out there and get you, be able to wow you and move the damn ball up and down the damn field and basically dominate you in the trenches. No, they didn't do that. You just played absolutely poorly. 2 fumbles. You can't be doing that. You can't be allowing the other team to score, or you can't be allowing the other team to have extra opportunities to score against you. That's just not championship football. Other than that, I think we've addressed all the other things. Not playing your standard football, but being able to come out with a victory is still a little bit of a plus.
Yeah, Sal, and shout out to my man Sal from New York City, East Coast, stand up. Sal says, looking ahead to the Vanderbilt game worries me, especially after the Oklahoma and Georgia games. And yeah, that's true. That's definitely a trap game. Vanderbilt had Missouri on the ropes last weekend and an overtime thriller in Missouri. So yeah, today, when they always say SEC games, even the bad teams could muck it up for you. I felt that today. I really felt that today, even though the Horns were in control for the most part, and they got the 20-point win. It was a lot more intense and stressful than it should have been. And I think that's just what the SEC provides. And I'm glad the Horns got a little taste of it now, so it could, like I said, wake them up a little bit, especially for the gauntlet of these next 2 games.
Yeah, it's nice to have a nice little punch in the mouth, right? And then to struggle a little bit and then be able to right the ship. And what this was, again, almost 15 years ago, maybe even longer than that, 20 years ago, the New York Giants beat the brakes off the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs, like 49-0. They even returned an onside kickback for a touchdown, and it was just complete domination. Then the next week they came out and laid a stinker because they were just inept on offense. And to me, I've always thought that you kind of, blow your load, for lack of better terms, so to speak, with your offense there. And you kind of run out of everything and all your goodie bag, so to speak, or I guess your gridiron god luck, if you want to call it that too. So anyways, it's bottom line, there's just a natural letdown and a natural drop off when you have such a high performance or a high efficient game. And maybe that this was your first natural drop off of that efficiency. And the scary thing is that we've been saying all 4 weeks is that the Longhorns haven't been playing, and firing on all cylinders. So again, this is another little breath of fresh air to say, hey, Sark's reminding you, each week, somebody could get gotten. Thankfully, you playing as poorly as you played, and you were still able to come out with a 22 margin of victory. And hopefully that wakes you up just a little bit, like you're talking about.
Yeah, blowing your load in this case isn't good. Usually it's cool. The case you're talking about, and it's not good. You're talking a little crazy, but yo, man, Jalen Milroe right now cooking them Bulldogs.
7-0.
14-0.
Oh, 14 though. Oh, I
yeah, 14-0.
ESPN's slacking a little bit, man. ESPN. Oh no, there we go. I got it. Now I got it. Scoreboard's updated. 14-0. This is bad. See, this is what I do not want. I don't want Georgia pissed off coming in here, after what?
Well, they got to take it out on somebody else. Like, they got 2 more games. They just had their bye week, so I don't think they have a bye week until after Texas. So
doesn't matter.
If they lose, which again, they don't look like the Georgia team of old. That game against Kentucky, I know Kentucky shocked the world beating Lane Kiffin and them boys today, but yeah, they got Auburn next week. They got Mississippi State, and then they come to Texas. So they can take it out on both of those teams.
Let them get it all out then.
Yeah, let them get it all out. And I don't know if Bama
beat Mississippi State 70-0 and then come back and play us.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't matter anymore with the CFP and the way it is, but I think it depends on the score, Joe K. If they beat the brakes off of Georgia, if they're going to jump Texas for that number 1 spot. So thank goodness it doesn't matter.
Bama would go get the number 1 spot after beating the number 2 team, though. I mean, and when they're already number 4, right? Like they would have to beat Georgia like 63-0, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do see him climbing and getting the 2 right behind us.
Yeah, it would have to be bad, but we will see. All right, let's get to the offensive MVP, brought to you by Verde's Mexican Parrilla. Sorry, Quad. I can't roll my R's like that. Your boy struggled in Spanish class. You know what I'm saying? But Verde's Mexican Parrilla is that spot located on Hamilton Pool Road off of 71, serving you an extensive menu of all your traditional Mexican and Tex-Mex favorites. They got a beautiful indoor dining that makes it just a great date night. You can take your lady out. So, it's just nice, man. From chips and queso, enchiladas, the tacos are different there. It's just on point. It's a terrific place outside the covered patio, tons of space for the whole family. Just a great place to dine in or take out. You could also host a party there. And hey, when you're there, eating in, mention Texas Sports Unfiltered, and you get a free appetizer. You can't beat that. Can't beat that at all. So you keep going. You go every day. Mention Texas Sports Unfiltered. They give you a free appetizer. It's that type of spot. Just a tremendous hospitality. Verde's Mexican Paella is where it's at. Wags, the offensive MVP for the Texas Longhorns. Who you got?
I think this is probably going to be consensus for us both, right? It's clearly Arch Manning. Look, when you throw for 300 and a buck or 300 and a quarter almost, and 2 touchdowns through the air, you contribute with almost 30. How many yards did he have on the ground? 33 yards on the ground with a touchdown as well. And he just brings a different dimension to this team. I love what Quinn Ewers is able to do vertically with the ball, but this dude, he's just he is a dual threat quarterback. He's fantastic in the pocket, but when he gets out of the pocket, not only does he extend the play, he can also take a a 7-yard route, and if it gets busted down and coverage gets busted down, he can turn that into a 33-yard improvised scamper. So again, I just love what this guy is able to bring, the different dynamic that he's able to bring, and it's his decision-making ability too. He's so cool, calm, and collected. So he seems to be cool, calm, and collected. Doesn't let much rattle his cage. Even when he gets a huge knock or takes a huge hit, pops right back up, stands like a statue there. Very stoic presence. I love this dude, man.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. He has some serious moxie, some serious mental toughness. And, it's everybody just thinks when you have football in your blood, especially legendary football in your blood, you're going to get all of that. Sometimes these guys are entitled. Like a lot of the time you go to a private school, you have everything laid out for you because you're very well off and wealthy.
The legacy players, right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He has none of that. He's very down to earth. You see him dancing. He has rhythm. He has swag. I think that's just growing up in New Orleans. Like, you're going to get some flavor. Even the white boys in New Orleans.
It's going to be indoctrinated into you, my guy.
Yeah. Just know, like, come on, this is where Master P and Juvenile grew up. Like, you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? So he has all of that, and he's not afraid to take a hit. He's not afraid to stick in that pocket, and you could tell he's getting better each week. From the ULM game where he had 2 interceptions. The first one was definitely his fault, but he did some good things on that interception. Like, he avoided a tackle and then he got hit. It was just the wrong throw. That was one of those throw it out of bounds or take the sack moments. But you could tell he learned this week, and he wasn't put in those situations really. Like, everything was smooth. Like, you only have 5 incompletions. You throw it over 30 times. You're out here dealing. You're out here dealing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm trying to be very critical. If I have to be critical on Arch's game, the one thing that I will say is you got to be a little bit more decisive after you run ball. Like, either slide or lead with your head. You can't do them both, right? No. That's what's gonna get you killed. Okay?
I would say just slide.
I'm with you. Get the hell out of bounds. Get the hell out of. But his ability to improvise off the play, it kind of what you were just alluded to there. To go back to the play you were talking about, where everything just broke down, right, and he had nothing to go with, but he was able to look off just to his left and hit that little outlet release valve. Man, that's special ability. Like, not a lot of people possess that, man. And again, Texas, we're very spoiled right now to have a Heisman Trophy quarterback that is being able to rest and still get this production from the quarterback room with Arch, man.
Yeah, and I still think Quinn can win the Heisman. I mean, if Jalen Milroe goes off tonight, then thanks.
Dart just lost. Jackson Dart lost.
Okay? Yeah, he's out right now. He's out. Cam Ward's doing his thing. So
Cam Ward looks like the one that's the truth right now. Like, Cam Ward,
was a weird game last night. That was weird how it ended, but Cam Ward, he's doing this thing. But if Quinn goes crazy against Oklahoma and Georgia, which I expect them to be back for those games, then hey, throw him back in there. We'll see what happens. But Arch Manning, he's getting better and better. The future is great. The dude played his ass off tonight. And when you have all those weapons, man, utilize them. It could have been better if they didn't have all those damn penalties and if the defense wasn't on the field that long. Like, the defense was on the field for a long time tonight, overall.
Third down efficiency was down. It was a very uncharacteristic game for the Longhorns today.
Yeah.
And again, that could be a testament to SEC play, but like you said, we got a good taste of it.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, Wags, let's get to the defensive player of the game, defensive MVP of the game. Excuse me, brought to you by Kenfield Golf Carts. If you are in the market for a new or pre-owned golf cart, we got great news. Our friends at Kenfield Golf Cart are the right ones to hook you up. Kenfield Golf Cars was founded in 1979, and look, they're top of the line. No one compares to Kenfield. You can find a selection of golf carts available, new or used. Hey, if you want to turn your golf cart ideas into a reality, no job is too big, no job is too small. They're going to hook you up and find what you need. So check out their website, KenfieldGolfCarts.com, for more info, or give them a call, 512-258 8515. Kenfield Golf Cars, defensive MVP. Who you got?
I'm gonna cheat here a little bit and say I want to give it to Benda because I feel like he's just been balling out. He's been kind of I guess the unsung MVP. I can't really say unsung MVP, but the second runner up, I would have to say. But tonight it's just it feels like a Colin Simmons MVP game, right? Like he kind of got after it. It's hard for me not to give this dude his roses. Two tackles for loss, had a sack as well. I mean, the kid was just absolutely nasty. A forced fumble. You want to keep talking about the future's bright on the offense, future's bright on the defense too, man. And this is also with Anthony Hill being able to play well and getting after it. You know, him in his middle linebacker position being able to play downhill and having 2 tackles for a loss as well. There was a lot of good defensive play, but there also was a lot of bad missed tackles out there, Zay. Yeah. That being said, has to go to the defensive line play here. I got Colin Simmons.
Yeah, too many missed tackles for my liking. Ant Hill missed some tackles tonight, uncharacteristic, some bad angles, bad filling the gaps to where it just allowed, 3-yard runs.
Gap assignment was pretty atrocious tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't good at times. Like there were times where it should have been 3 2-yard runs and they turned into 9, 10, or 11. And against this Mississippi State team, you don't like that, even though these last few weeks they've been running the ball pretty hard. But yeah, I got to go with Colin Simmons too, man. Just for what he's doing as a freshman. It's ridiculous. And Ant Hill, he had his moments last year too. Ant Hill really showed signs of being that future superstar. And every time he makes a tackle, it's a violent Kurt Angle super slam type thing. So Colin Simmons, just his get off. I know we talked about that already. His get off from the line. Just to be that young and already understand that at this level. Again, it's going to be hard for Trey Moore to keep getting the reps that he's getting if Colton Vosick is starting to play that too.
How do you outplay you're not going to outplay what Simmons is doing right now. You're just not. He's playing on a different level. I would say that he's probably as a freshman, he's your best defensive end. Like I know I was reluctant to say that, but I mean, you can't lie to the eye in the sky, Zay. Off the past couple of games that I've seen, I love what Burke's able to do, but I mean, are you going to tell me that Simmons doesn't have a different type of motor that the rest of them have?
Yeah. I thought that strip sack was his. Like he's going after the ball too. It's not just sacks. Like he's going.
No, I know, man. He is elite. He is a way too early to say this in this young man's career, but he has got the playmaking skill and ability of a linebacker that I herald so.
Say his name. Say his name.
Lawrence Taylor, damn it.
Oh my goodness.
He can change it. He can take over a game
without the cocaine, though. Without the cocaine,
yeah, we don't need the booger sugar. We don't need that.
Okay, because Lawrence was toe up.
Oh,
Lawrence was on that Pookie New Jack City.
I don't even know if we saw Lawrence at 100%. I don't ever think we saw. I don't think the league would allow him to be at 100%.
Yo, but that was his 100%. That could have been that cocaine, that rock.
You absolutely might be onto something.
Yo, man.
This young man has that type of game, dude. He's so dominant off the edge. He's so fast. He's got that speed. He's got that quick first step, like you said, and he has the ability to take away the ball and give the possession back to the offense. That's extra possessions. That's extra time that you have a chance to score, man. Extra opportunities for your offense. I love that, dude. To me, that's a defensive MVP, and it's got Colin Simmons all over it tonight.
Yeah, right there with you. I said it a couple of weeks ago on Twitter. This guy could be the first pick of the 2027 draft. He could be that. Obviously, he has some things to clean up. He was a part of the, not fitting those run gaps the right way at times and, just getting caught up. And that's, lack of experience, things that he will definitely learn. But, man, if you hear this guy talk, he just wants to get better. And one thing that I salute to Steve Sarkisian and this coaching staff are doing, they don't hide that they're trying to send these guys to the NFL.
Right.
Some of these coaches try to hide it because they want to make it all about team and stuff like that. And I get it to a certain extent, but man, these guys are trying to change their families' lives forever.
Isn't that their number one goal?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you arrange your program to align with their goals?
Yeah.
Like, that's what Alabama did so well. Let's make this an NFL machine. Let's make this a damn workshop for the NFL. Don't you think Sarkisian took that mentality and ideology and wanted to instill that in the 40 acres? It's seemingly what he's doing.
Yeah. Who has the most players in the NFL? Like Alabama, Georgia, Michigan put in the most in the draft last year after they just won a national championship. Like, those things add up. You're close. You got 11 in the draft this past year. You made it to the college football playoff. So you're heading the right direction. And it's because of getting players like Colin Simmons. And yeah, he's so locked in. Like, again, I still think you should play Trey Moore because you got to keep everybody fresh. This is such a long season. You're going to play up to 15 games if you make it to the national championship with this 12-team playoff. So guys got to be ready to get in there. But I love Colton Vasek. He's coming along. And yeah, man, Colin Simmons, he's getting better and better every game. All right, Wags. I am joined by
real quick one more time though. Iron sharpens iron. Like, this defense is pretty damn nasty, and it's kind of special, right? So you're gonna have times where you're gonna have, you know, people like Trey Moore where, dude, you kind of got to put up. Like, you absolutely have to put up. Like, you're going to have the people that are right below you have games too. So if that doesn't motivate you to play at the height of your ability, I don't know what else does. I don't know what's going to make your heart pump a little bit more than that, man.
And that's it. Like, the guys in front of him are playing so well. It's not like he's playing horribly.
Right, exactly.
It's not. It's just those guys, Barrett Sorrell, Colton Vasek, Colin Simmons, now Ethan Burke. I should say Ethan Burke, now Colton Vasek. I get those Westlake guys confused sometimes. But now they're coming along, and you got paid so much money coming here from, UTSA. There's still a lot of time. There's so much season left to make your mark, and so many different guys have the ability to. We're still waiting on Trey Moore, and I'm sure Pete Kwiatkowski and Steve Sarkisian haven't given up on him. Adam Wagner with me. I am Zay Collier here on the Texas Sports Unfiltered postgame show. The Longhorns are 5-0, 1-0 in the SEC, getting the 35-13 dub over Mississippi State. They have a couple of weeks off until the Red River. I call it shootout, damn it. Yep. I'm old school. I call it shootout. Call it what it is, the shootout. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. We're already prepping for that. We got
it's 2 weeks. Hey, it's a shootout in Tuscaloosa. It's a shootout in Tuscaloosa, but only one team, 21-0.
Oh, Kirby, that ain't a good look, bro. That ain't a good look. But let's keep rolling here on the Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show. The tip of the cap, which goes to the opposing player who impressed us the most, brought to you by Top Gun Rentals and Law Equipment. And, Top Gun, another one of those spots, man. Our friends at Top Gun are here to help you tackle any job you may have. Just a crazy selection of rental equipment for everything. Small home projects, large construction jobs. It doesn't matter. You're going to find what you want. Our guy, Brandon Mars, and his team will hook you up, and they get the job done. Hustler, Toro, Rocker, so many different brands. You will find what you want. They are Austin's #1 source of equipment rentals, sales, and supplies. They've been doing it that way since 1996. Top Gun Rentals and Law Equipment. Tip of the Cap Award, which again goes to the opposing team's player of the game. Wags, you got anything for us?
Yeah, I believe this was BK's prediction in the pregame show at Schultz's Garden. Johnny Daniels. Johnny Daniels had somewhat of a decent game there, being able to muster up 75 yards against this seemingly tough Longhorn rush defense, right? But was able to have himself a decent type of game, or put together what seems to be a decent type of game, or it looks like on stats there, averaging 5 yards a clip there with a long of 17. Again, not much to wow you with. Maybe you want to say that Van Buren played decent, but I think I got to go tip of the cap with the ground and pound game from the Bulldogs there with Johnny Daniels.
Yeah, surprising, run game for Mississippi State, especially
Very
in the
surprising.
first half. 115 yards in the first half. Shout out to Pete Kwiatkowski of figuring out what Jeff Lebby liked to do in the second half and only allowing a total of 150. So they stopped all the ground game stuff and stopped the time of possession, and it kind of swung back to Texas's way. But yeah, that's a good pick. Who I got, Wags, is Stone Blanton. He's the one that caused the fumble on Jaden Blue and recovered it. So he caused the fumble and recovered it to start the second half, which that was a big-time play of the game.
That's the tip of the game.
Yeah, you're only up 14-6. And if it wasn't for Vernon Broughton getting the ball back, who knows what would have happened? Who knows the points that would have been put on the board? So, Jeff Lebby's team, they fought hard. I got to give it to them. Now, they're an ignorant group because last week when I saw them getting their ass whooped against the Gators in Start Vegas, they were doing the Gator chomp while losing by double digits. And today, Van Buren, he scores and he's
you see him?
He's throwing horns down, bro. Act like you've been somewhere before. That's that shit. If I'm Jeff Lebby, I'd lose my mind on that. Like, we played hard. I know we don't have the Jimmies and Joes to go up against Texas with all their 5 stars and big time players, but come on, act like you've been somewhere
and
before.
The game was out of hand at that point. Like, you were gonna lose. Like, you might have had an ocean in the first half, but once the Longhorns started establishing dominance in the second half, and then you got a cup of coffee left in the damn fourth quarter, and you're gonna throw horns down after you score weak as shit.
Yeah, we're running steps. We're running steps sometime this week because that's my quarterback doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's what does that say? Like, Van Buren, I think he could be good. That guy, he did some really good things today.
A freshman quarterback put in this position against this defense. Yeah, that he's got some promise.
He's from your hood too. He's a Baltimore, Maryland kid.
Is he? What sport do he go to?
I think he went to IMG. But yeah, he's a Baltimore kid, so he's probably seen some shit.
It's prerequisite, right?
Yeah, he's probably seen some stuff. So, but still, come on, bro. Act like you've been there before. And yeah, that was just a weak look. But hey, Jeff Lebby, he's got more problems to deal with than trying to discipline his team. And
down here off in Northern Parkway and everything.
Yeah, all right, let's keep rolling here on the Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show. The offensive play of the game brought to you by Hat Creek Burger Company. Shout out to Hat Creek. My guy, Drew Gresson, Westlake legend. He used to light it up against my Bulldogs, but he makes some mean burgers, so I let it slide. Those guys at Hat Creek, it started with a food truck back in 2008, and since then, they've been just growing. 26 locations across Texas, the ATX, Dallas, Waco, Temple, San Antonio, and Houston. You're going to find a Hat Creek somewhere around the Lone Star State. And despite their rapid growth, the mission remains the same. Hat Creek will always be a place for good food, good folks, and good fun. It's just that simple. So get Hat Creek, their world famous burgers, salads, nuggets, fries, and shakes, man. Their shakes go crazy. They've got worms in them and just different flavors. They got so many different sauces. I usually get like 3 different sauces that I put on my burger. It's crazy. I do Hat Creek right, and it treats me right too. Hat Creek Burger Company, offensive play of the game. Adam Wagner, who you got?
This is kind of cheap again. Are we allowed to designate the play of the game for a play that got called back?
Oh, because that's not. You do what you want. You do you.
I would do Weisner. I would do Weisner's play. I thought Weisner's run was fantastic. His ability to make people miss and then also shed people that would be tackles, and then be able to run after first contact into the damn end zone there. I thought that was one hell of a play. But I'm probably going to have to give Moore's reception, one of his long receptions. I thought he was fantastic tonight, being able to go over 100. If I have to give the offensive player of the offensive MVP to Arch Manning, I got to give the offensive best play of the game to Mr. Moore there.
Yeah, he caught some beautiful balls, man. Again, going back to Arch Manning's touch, like DeAndre Moore, who came in with an injury. He went out last week against Louisiana Monroe, and you just didn't know how he was
questionable coming into this game, right?
Yeah, a little questionable, and he looked great. He looked like I liked his. He did a little dance where he like faked the injury and then he like went to a little groove. I was like, yo, that's fun. I could dig that, man. That's some Terrell Owens, Randy Moss type stuff. Like this team, they just got great personalities, but. My Hat Creek offensive play of the game, I'm going to Arch Manning's 27-yard run that I would have called the touchdown. I might be a little biased here, but that was a big-time play. That was a big-time drive. Like, you just went and got a turnover on downs on a weird call from Steve Sarkisian, and I would have took the points. You and I talked about that here today on the postgame show early on, but that next drive after Colin Simmons had that terrific sack on the 3rd and 18, you go down the field and Arch runs for that terrific play where he almost makes it to the end zone, and then it capped off with a quarterback sneak. Like, that was the game right there. I think that really took the heart and soul out of Mississippi State, where you knew it was a dub and you could ride off to the sunset, and it just showed Arch Manning's versatility, like the athleticism. Like, last year, the times that we saw him, when that pressure came, he would run because that's all he knew. Right. Now he's choosing to run because it's his best interest, depending on how the play develops. It's just he has to slide. That's the only thing. That's his only issue. He just needs to slide and get down and get out of bounds instead of getting sandwiched and shit. But those are things you learn with more reps and more play. But yeah, Arch Manning, that 27-yard run, my Hat Creek offensive play of the game.
Oh my God, Zay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yo, Kalen DeBoer, man. Good grief. And this goes back to Texas's schedule coming in. Like, I'm completely shocked on how you do that every week, man. You gotta pray every week.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Hey, I dig it. But I'm really shocked at how Texas's schedule is starting to play out. Now, Vanderbilt, I think they're going to be tougher than what we thought coming in, and Kentucky is going to be tougher. They're going to be tougher than what we thought coming in, and I think Arkansas, you could throw them in there too. But those teams that we thought were going to be a little more difficult, OU, A&M, both of those teams having quarterback issues, even though I think Michael Hawkins could be dangerous in a couple of weeks. They still got issues over there in Norman because Auburn, they ain't that good either. And now Georgia's getting their breaks beat off of them. So this schedule, man, it is definitely in your favor, but the injuries that you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Like, the adversity is there. It's still there. It's not as easy as, you think. You still got people out that you need to get healthy, but man, I did not expect Georgia to be getting their ass whooped like this. This is very shocking. All right, let's go to the defensive play of the game, brought to you by Moonshine Patio and Grill. Moonshine Patio and Grill is that place that takes you back to a simpler time, a comfortable and familiar, relaxed, and easy-going time. Moonshine greets guests like family. You always want to feel like family when you're going into a beautiful establishment, and Moonshine Patio and Grill is a beautiful establishment. Classic American comfort foods. The Moonshine menu is on point. Just a big city taste, and our friends at Moonshine, they've been around for more than 20 years. Moonshine, I've been there for brunch so many times. One of my mom's favorite place, and my mama, she got a good palate now. So, she can be picky. And if she has a place that she could go to on the regular, like Moonshine, then it's good. 2 locations, downtown and Avery Ranch. Go to moonshinegrill.com for more information or to make a reservation. Moonshine Patio and Bar and Grill, Check it out. The defensive play of the game. Adam Wagner, what you got, homie?
Got to go with the aforementioned Colin Simmons there. You just alluded to it not too long ago. His huge play, critical play on second down, forcing the sack in a long third and seemingly forever when the Bulldogs were mounting together a pretty decent drive, and he was able to kind of knock them off their path and able to get the ball back in our hands. Look, man, this this young stalwart of a defensive stud is just absolutely taking over. And again, we talked about iron sharpening iron. This is great too. Especially if you're an upperclassman, if you're a senior and you're seeing this type of productivity out of a young freshman like this, it's going to hold your game accountable too. So look, if you're seeing this type of play out of Colin Simmons, expect for people to follow in suit as well, being Ethan Burke and Sorrell.
Yeah.
And Moore's going to pick it up. He's going to have to.
He's going to have to. He's going to have to pick it up. You're right. He's going to have to pick it up or he'll get left behind because Colton Vosig's coming. He's coming for your rep.
He's playing good, too. He's starting to play some comfortable
ball.
He's
getting sacks and stuff. He's mucking things up. I know they're kind of easing him in because he's dealt with injury during his young Texas tenure, but – yeah, Trey Moore, be careful because you might get passed up. That's a good pick, Wags. I'm going to go with Vernon Broughton and his sack fumble. That was a huge change of events, a huge momentum shifter because that was right after Jaden Blue fumbled on the first play in the second half. Again, it's 14-6. The ball's now in great territory for Mississippi State. To get the ball back and not allow any points, I think it negated that fumble, even though they had that awful 4th and 3 possession where Arch Manning threw that weird pass to Isaiah Bond and turned over on downs after the Vernon Broughton sack and fumble recovery. But, yeah, I think Vernon Broughton quietly has been really good all season. And, again, this team, we've just been so used to – them mucking up everything that an offense does for the first 4 games, only allowing an average 80-something yards on the ground for Mississippi State to put up 150 today is kind of unprecedented for what we've seen thus far, but they had their moments. Texas had a lot of timely plays today, and sometimes that's enough. You could get kind of gutted up and have these long drives like Mississippi State have. But if you could be timely, like Mookie Taft early on, he had a good deflection that was almost a pass interference call in the first half. That could have been a touchdown.
I thought they were going to call face guarding at first.
Yeah, I thought it was close. It was very close.
He got there at the precise time. So
with the way they were calling it all day, I wouldn't be surprised if they would have thrown that flag, but they didn't. Andrew Makuba on the first drive of the game when Jeff Levy went for it on 4th down, had a really good, breakup moment. So the defense had good timely plays that Pete Kwiatkowski and Texas should definitely hang their hat on and be proud of. But overall, especially with these next 2 teams coming in, I don't give a damn if these next 2 teams aren't as good as we thought they were going to be. This is still the big part of your season. That's going to say a lot for the future and where you sit at the CFP. And I think 2 weeks is the perfect time to get those things cleaned up so you can be ready.
I agree 100%, man.
All right, Wags, about to get out of here. Time for the final word, brought to you by Paul's Motor Works. Paul's Motor Works, they've been providing just a complete foreign and domestic automotive repair in Austin since 2000. Specialize in BMW, Mini Coupe, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Volkswagen, Porsche, but they do so much more than that. BK gets his oil change there. If it's good enough for BK, it's definitely good enough for you. Come on now. Paul's Motor Works is the place to be. So if you don't trust anyone with your car, there's some sketchy people out here, some sketchy car folks out here that try to just get you and screw you over and overcharge you because they don't think you know what you're talking about. Paul and the guys, they don't do that. They go out of their way not to do that. So if you're searching for a good mechanic, they got plenty at Paul's Motor Works, and Paul's always hanging around. Check it out. Paul's Motor Works, the final word. Adam Wagner, take it away.
Real quick, just a little bit of testimony to Paul's Motor Works as well. This coming from a a young lad that grew up in a family of mechanics here. Very good mechanic is something that you want in your life, right? Because what Zay was talking about, there are a lot of crooked mechanics out there. A mechanic is like finding a doctor. If you can find the right doctor or somebody that's good for you, that you trust, or maybe like the dentist, you're worried about the dentist, trying to find gold in your mouth or whatever. That's an old phrasing, sitting there saying that they're trying to take your money, right? Paul's Motorworks doesn't do this. They're absolutely legit. I've taken my vehicle in there a few times. They've been absolutely tremendous, man. And look, they give you exactly what you're asking for, man. They don't flood you, so they say back east, man. They don't try and take your money from you. So look, I think they're absolutely fantastic. If, like Zay said, if they're good enough for BK, if they're good enough for me, go ahead and get out there. Go see Paul's Motorworks. Final thoughts. Kind of what you were alluding to not too long ago. The effort was there on defense. 8 hats were still flying to the ball. It's just the execution was a little bit sloppy tonight, right? You saw that not just on defense, but on offense too. But what's a little bit more concerning on defense is the fact that we missed a lot of tackles. It wasn't exactly back to the epidemic days when Texas was, with the wrong culture underneath Herman there, where they were missing a whole bunch of tackles, but it looked a little bit bad tonight. Again, effort was there. 8 hats were flying to the ball, but there were still bad tackles and open field moments where if you make that tackle, you get off the field a little bit earlier than you would.
Well said. We all know these next 2 weeks are going to be like, I don't like bye weeks. I wish you could play every week, but for the sake of this Texas team and getting healthy, you need this bye week. You need it.
It's good to have it today.
It's good to have it. From Quinn Ewers to now Arch Manning. Like, they might downplay his injury, you know what I'm saying? And if Quinn Ewers gets hit the wrong way, you feel good about throwing Arch in there because Arch is continuing to get better, but you also need Arch to stay healthy. So just cleaning up all the self-inflicted wounds, way too many penalties. If Gunnar Helms giving you back-to-back penalties, then you're having an off day. Jake Majors, he got mucked up. The whole Cole Hudson, DJ Campbell, substitution interchange thing. Like, Cole Hudson was trash today. He was awful. So I don't know if you throw DJ Campbell more of those snaps. And usually Cole Hudson's reliable. Maybe he needs the 2 weeks to get right too. But if you got DJ Campbell here, that's making way less mistakes. I don't know if it's fatigue thing with DJ Campbell. He might get tired or something, or I really don't know, but I'm not trying to see no interchange stuff if Cole Hudson's going to muck up the game like he did today in a negative way. So Jaden Blue, that concerns me a lot.
You can't have drive killers.
That Jaden Blue situation concerns me a lot because we went, especially after CJ Baxter gets hurt, we went from Doak Walker Award to this guy might have the yips. This guy might legitimately have a fumbling problem. And to where clearly Sark and Tashard Choice didn't have faith putting him back in the game for a third go because he gave up the ball twice today. Travion Wisner was good, but you need running back by committee because that schedule is just too –
it's a battle of attrition, man.
Battle of attrition. You're right. So you need as many running backs as possible. We know that room is slim. Quinn Ewers, get back right, get back healthy. Too many missed tackles. Clean that up. You got 2 weeks to do it. Oklahoma, their defense is still really good, and it's Red River at the end of the day. Like even when you're favored, it can go the opposite way. So it's such a hard game to dissect. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be fun doing that for the next 2 weeks. But, yeah, you're 5-0. Ole Miss lost today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you took care of business. I know Mississippi State is garbage, but you took care of business. You still won by 20-something points, even though Steve Sarkisian probably tell you himself that this isn't the standard today. And you're still rolling as the number 1 team in the nation. So get in them books, clean up to that, that homework that you're probably behind on and stuff. Give them a couple of days off if you're Sark.
Call mom and dad.
Maybe go back home for a couple of days. I don't know how they do it, probably not since they're collegiate, athletes, student athletes. They probably can't go.
Brilliant, sir.
They take everything online anyway. Shit. They take everything online anyway. Go back home.
Leave the doors.
Go back home for a couple of days. unwind and then come back Wednesday maybe and be ready to roll for this next part of the season. So appreciate everybody for rocking with me and Wags tonight on the Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show. Y'all know how we do. We got you covered on all things Texas, from NFL, obviously the Longhorns, college football. We have the best team in the land every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Bucky and BK got you covered. Double R and Wags got you covered after that. Jordan Scruggs, Jeff Howe, the Horn 24/7 guys, they do their thing. Keenan Womack, E. Henry, myself, and the great Chip Brown and the SEC Unfiltered boys, whether it's Dave, Chris, Cole, just so much good content here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. One of a kind. Like and subscribe. That's how we make a living, because we like being off for y'all, man. Shout out to all of our sponsors that make us able to come on here and do what we love and get some good coin for it, man. Not too many people have the luxury of doing a unique job like us, to where this ain't really work. We're having fun right now. We love doing this for y'all. So let's keep this show going. It's been a good thing, just like the Texas Longhorns. Again, Texas 35-13 against Mississippi State, 1-0 in SEC play, the first ever SEC game, 5-0 for the number one team. We'll be back all week next week. Appreciate you guys. Adam Wagner, Zay Collier. Y'all be cool.
Welcome.
Hook 'em.